Greetings, salutations, welcome to the third qualifier. We are getting live exactly at 2, or at least I am launching this exactly at 2 because we had a crash on our very first launch. See that we've got a couple new people coming in for follows, thank you very much. We're going to go straight over to display capture because we are going to go ahead and spin up the bracket. So we're going to go over to, let's see if I can remember it, brackets.
Hey, thank you.
Swiss bracket. Bracket name, Swiss 1. It will start as of right now. You must check into your match. Check-in timer is 5 minutes. Bracket size, we will spin it up for 25 players, which means we are going for 5 rounds. Same as last time. Best of 3. Default tiebreaker. Then we are going to seed said bracket, as it is 201. With checked-in players only. We're going to auto-seed it randomly so that when people signed up, it does not matter. So it says we're at 19. That's still enough that we're going to need to do 5 rounds. Because we could go to... Yeah. No, we're going to need to go it this way. I was trying to think it's 16 is the threshold for going down a level. So, alright. There's our seeds. Bracket is generated. Obviously, this was done 10 minutes ago. And people are welcome to get started. Meanwhile, what we will do is I'm going to go ahead, fire up the Discord, make sure everyone has tagged, letting them know they can get started. Oh, let's just hope that's the initial crash this morning. Let's hope that's just the only technical issue we need to troubleshoot today. I'm theoretically on a dedicated connection that shouldn't cause issues. I've used this connection before, and we're all fine. Alright, bracket is live. Cannot edit it to check in or add anyone. Go ahead and start. Stream will be live, is already live, in a couple minutes as the delay catches up. Alright, so I'm curious to see what sort of decks we see brought. First tournament was really dominated by the control lists. Lists that tried their best, well, ultimately, and I said tried their best, ultimately won with a control tribunal. Round 2, we saw a little bit more of counter mid-range being played. Withered Hand Cultists, wards to weaken the effect of damage-based removal. And it always feels like there's a tug of war that goes back and forth in decks like those where you've got the decks that try to race it to the finish, and you have the decks that try to just say, hey, I get the most value over time. And then the mid-range in the middle trying to find the balance. Personally, I still think mid-range, specifically 2-color mid-range, is in the best position to dominate. I'm a little sad we've not seen an overabundance of Sorcerer. We did get to see a little bit last time, but I still think Sorcerer is a undervalued class, and its wards give it a lot of flexibility of play. You do need to run combos to deal with Invade, which is one of its greatest weaknesses, but we've not seen a lot of Invade in the tournament, so that you might be willing to just say, if I see Invade, I ban it, otherwise I'm just going to run this as a relatively aggro-type ward deck. We'll see what the competitors think. In terms of games, let's see if we've got anyone finally getting started. Presidente's there playing. Deep Blue Eye, battling an event, does not need to show up for the tournament today, courtesy his win. Looks like everyone is still going through the ban phase, as I see a bunch of our competitors here who are not yet in-game. Let's see if we have anyone. We've got Mad Mark, one of our competitors. Let's go ahead and get him added. At least I think he's one of the competitors. There was someone with Mad in their name. I am looking forward to being able to do the Retro Gauntlet tomorrow. I'm hopeful I'll be able to play a support mage, and failing that, what was the other one we were going to look at? Guard-based spell sword, factotum spell sword, because we don't need to deal with mute, which really is a pain in the arse for factotums. When you finally get something nice going, and then they just silence 2 of your creatures. It's a little annoying. I was playing some factotums for fun recently, and yeah, I'd be like, alright, I've got guard, lethal, we're good to go. And then we weren't good to go. Alright, we've got... how many minutes until we go live? We're in the final 3-minute countdown for the delay. The way the delay works on my end is the stream doesn't start until the delay catches up. There's not a holding period. There was rumor going around. I don't remember who it was who I was talking with about it. But somebody thought they had seen an update in-game. I wasn't able to replicate anything they said they had seen. It wasn't Ermark, it was this guy. Eski was saying he was seeing something weird and new with Factotums, High Hrothgar, and not Dushnik. Dresrent, no. What card was it? The 1-drop. I actually built a deck to test. Brutal Ashlander. He said he saw something new with those. I've not been able to replicate any of that. But still, when people say they see something new, it's always curious. There's not been any new updates or anything that I've seen get pushed through the Google versioning history, looking at mobile. You just gonna stay there, Farkas? With your little tail wrapped around the tree so you're not gonna fall over? Your tail's got a good grip? I think it's got the best of grips. Alright, Devil Signed, in with our first game. I think it scrolled there. My mouse has been acting a little weird, but that's since my cats attacked it this morning. Alright, so he is opening up against... is it Il Phoenix? I want to say Il Duce, but we're up against a Goblin Scout list. Decent play in the form of Hive Defender. Opts to just clear off the Curse Gobbo. Prevent that from getting any stronger. I could agree with that. You've already got the trade set up here, you're just trying to stop the bleeding. Well, now you don't have the trade set up here anymore, and you're going to keep bleeding. Some decent cards in hand. Rings used up. The biggest thing that can be played is the Cliff Facer. Ooh, shift pickup to bypass the guard, continue going phase. Best pickup I think Phoenix could have hoped for.
You bet on the wrong side.
This is where Devil is hoping his Tribunal Control is able to pick up a Ice Storm. He does not find an Ice Storm, instead has to rely on Hive Defender and Ordinator. I like Ordinator as a card. Genuinely do. The fact that it's got the 3/3 guard on a 2-cost body, you don't care about the Shackle. You're just more concerned with the fact that you're able to hold down a lane, and maybe if you could strike with it later, that's great.
You bet.
So not happy with the result, but was able to trade off with most of the creatures there. Is there anything good Piercing Twilight can hit? Opts to go for the Javelin. We are also officially live now. So let me get that live into the Discord. So has a shift, but would shift into a guard. Plays for a Leaf Lurker to get past that.
I smell the stench of the living.
I imagine we're going to see a double guard and a ward. What are we getting rid of? Sheer points? Gamblers? Removal's not really our problem. As in, we're not worried about needing to remove his creatures. Okay, goes for using removal and a ward. Scourge can assign it a curse, but that does not permit breakthrough. And creatures are both still dead. Clears the lane. Queen's Captain is on draw 2 cards. Alright, pulls back Dark Guardian. as even though he gets the curse, that's not enough to trade past this. Draws with Skulk, hoping to find the Leaf Lurker. Pulls Razum, can't play him this turn, but can be ready for next turn. Just needs to connect for 2. The only play I see that works here is a Piercing Twilight Fervor, because that prevents Razum from breaking through. Probably going to get rid of Cliff Racers. Decrease the chance that your opponent has charge in hand.
None of you will make them.
I'm bringing Banelord, please love me. Best of luck, Dornison. Phoenix is going to go ahead and take the win here. Closest we've seen to Banelord being brought is a kind of control Gobos. So Dornison, he brought Banelord. Let's take a look. Let's see how it goes. Is he playing Banelord at the moment? He is playing a conscription-based... What's that? Ebonheart deck? Ebonheart Pact? Yes. Against yet another Goblin, being piloted by Liz Maru. Liz, if I recall correctly, was the person who brought Assassin and Telvanni last time. So switched it up, this time went green-purple. We will go ahead and give a delayed greetings to those of you guys that I see in chat. Lars, Antonio, Grandma the Gamer, Buggy Man. Goes ahead and just clears off Leaf Lurker, preventing his Leaf Lurker from dying. I imagine... okay, draw first. I'd imagine you're supposed to play Yorin first, because Yorin would have discounted this, would have discounted that. Solano checking in. So let's see. Liz has 3 damage. A little bit of control in hand, so is able to clear up this board. Yet another reason I was in favor of putting Yorin down. Just causing... Well, I guess it's only enemy non-creatures, so it doesn't affect him because he's a creature-based deck. I don't know. Could have had curses, though, to combo with Sheer Point. You'd rather your opponent be forced to play them at cost. You also want to get Yorin down so that... Well, theoretically, if you had Yorin down, you'd be able to ring out Ayleid Guardian this coming turn. Instead, it looks like you're going to be ringing out Yorin... Or you don't need to ring it out. You play Yorin Hist Mage, get that ramp, and try to get into that Guardian as soon as possible. Is there anything Necromancer would pull you? Yes, it pulls a War Chief. If you play Necromancer, you're going down to 3, possibly 4 Magicka. So if you're going to go that route, you Necro here, pull back the War Chief, hit Sheer Point, drop Daedroth, Curse, remove Sheer Point. You're taking 4 points of damage, you go to 9. And then next turn you're ringing out Ayleid Guardian. Guess not too bad, I don't think. If you're real lucky, you pick up something 0 cost that you can play alongside this. You do want the Daedroth down to increase your chances of draw. Opts not to draw a card. Deck is still at 59. Is he worried he's going to overdraw?
Fortune favor me.
It's not a bad pickup to try to snipe cards that are back in shadow. Though this turn is straight, you're just going to ring out Ayleid Guardian. Trade, trade, trade. Keep all of your creatures alive. Maybe we're not ringing out Ayleid Guardian? So we're gonna Hist Mage over here.
It is too late for peace.
I'll lead my family to glory.
I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that line whatsoever. You made yourself vulnerable to a Shadow Shift. Alright, so you trade in Pact Oathman and play Alien Guardian. What are we looking at for damage? 16 plus 6, 22, 23, 28, 32? 32 damage? 10, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 29, 30, 31, 32. Yes, 32 damage. Wow, less 1. So 31 damage after Dusk Eater trades in. 30 once Bitterfish. Wow, Bitterfish removes. Still going to be lethal, though. So that lowers from 32 to 29. 29 damage. You go for it. It's goblins. What are they going to do? They're going to Prophecy. Alright, that puts you off lethal, so you move to trade. Right? You're not off lethal? No, you're on exact lethal. Well, there we go. My math was wrong. Dostra did do a little bit of a risk as he pushed out his play. I feel like he could have been a little bit more efficient in the early game, but there was no punish, and it worked for him, so I can't say it was wrong. Who else have we got here at the beginning we could be taking a look at? I want to get a feel out for some of these decks. Let's see what Aquaman and his opponent are running. Alright, so we've got Feller in here, running Gabo Scouts. Okay, this is the Tournament of Goblins. We are 3 for 3 seeing Goblins, or some variant thereof. I guess you were buffed by a Hound. Yep. Good hand from Fellerin. So what are we looking at from Aquaman's side? He's got the Harpy. He could outfeat. You're harpying, you lock down the 3-feather War Chief. Because I don't think you're worried about enough burst damage for him to kill you. And you'd rather that have to trade in here. So chose to lock down the Sheer Point. I guess that's okay. You're anticipating a Shadow Shift. Or a Leaf Lurker to clear the Wardcrafter, or any curse effect to clear the Wardcrafter. What do we have access to from Fellerin? So 2 curse effects can be played this turn from Witch and one of the Scourges. Your end game is Tazcad, so you're just trying to connect for 6 points of damage. So maybe you connect with the War Chief here just to do a little bit of cleanup. Send the 3-face, Witch away the Atronach, and Scourge away the Bleak Coast, or Scourge wound the Bleak Coast. Alright, instead we see a pivot to field. That's not bad. So you hit here, you've got the Mighty Conjuring. It's not going to last because he's going to wound it and then Leaf Lurker it, but it'll at least slow your opponent down. If you kill the spirit, you then can see where the spirit's buff goes. May opt to use a dagger trade here if we want to go Alfiq. Problem with Alfiq is that it trades natively, which gives the curse to clear Wardcrafter. And there's not really a good option here. So lands the buff over on the Sheer Point. Yeah. Sadly, that's going to prove to be insufficient. Because we'll see a bump here, a bump there, a Leaf Lurker, a Curse Clear, 7 damage face, set up for next turn Tazcad. And with that, it's going to be GG. Gotta learn putting in extra thought. Like, he clearly sees it. He's holding Leaf Lurker, and he knows he's on 9 for Tazcad. I don't know why he's roping here.
Forest is more close.
I slay the unworthy.
And with no clear way of seeing it through, I imagine Aquaman will concede here. Because Alfiq Barrowstalker does not make for a solid defense. Because he's unable to even block the damage coming from the Shadow Lane. Ugh. Cat was yawning earlier, now I'm yawning. Alright, so while we wait on these two to report on to finish up their game, I'm going to go ahead and I think Mr. Death sent us a score for us to report.
I have many important things.
Takes the honorable way out and Kanoing his own face. Mr. Death 1-2-1. Alright. Who have we not seen? Trying to get as many people in here at the beginning as possible. We saw Liz Maru. We've not seen Rising High yet, so we'll go there. We've started to get some scores fully in. So Mr. Death has gone 2-1 over his opponent. Radical with a 2-0. Oh, we're in for a treat today.
Speak, citizen.
Some form of... Oh, we've got a... Oh. Which one of you played, Thaydon? Alright, Empire did, and Empire's getting the value from him. The Rising High's got a Galen and a Dark Rebirth. Hasn't picked up anything good to Galen. So he's gonna have to keep letting Vlad get that value and get that extra card draw. Picks up a fresh start. That's gonna refill his hand, what, to 9? No, to full 10. So he's just gonna play out some of his cheap creatures.
I do not fear death.
Fighters Guild, protect the drain. That's really all you need to play out.
I will keep Sothasil's people alive.
Galen's in more irons. Has suitably enough actions that it's going to be hard to say what it's going to pull. I guess majority would be negation, because 1/3 of the actions in here are negation.
I will keep Sothasil's
Is hoping to see it pull Soltaire, I'd guess.
We fight for the glory of lost Aldmeris.
As predictable, hits a negation. Vlad's Galen and Necros, though. Jabs away the first of the 7 irons. Wonder if he's gonna keep giving Rising High some cards or not.
Ita
to oblivion with you. Rise, my servant.
To pull something back with the Necro. Instead, just pulls back a Necro that pulls back some ramp.
What secrets do you seek?
Alright. Anything at all that's able to help here. Even an Ice Storm is insufficient. 3 Magicka. You pull a Tinkering and you pray to Ever-Living Vivek. Because you'll be able to go to 10 into 11. And I don't see anything else that helps you. Obsolete Tinkering in deck pulls a Marak.
Bark and burn. Behold my power.
Top deck's a Manticora. And we're going to see a Sheer Point Chieftain clear.
The Hist revives.
Opts to leave Chieftain to clear something else. Hits the first of the leveled irons. I think I like the Manticora play the best, as it clears the 6/6 and guards the 3. Pulls another leveled Necro. I was looking to see if we had a Viper in graveyard, missed the Viper in hand.
Behold my power. Bark and burn.
Knocks his opponent to 3, drops down the Alien Guardian. Marak doesn't help here. Yep. Rising High goes ahead and concedes. That was an interesting Empire list. I liked it. Let me continue with the greetings I've been reading off. Alexander, nice to see you. We had Nikki show up, as well as Shahid. Greetings to each one of you. Hope your days are going as magnificently as that cat is enjoying his day. So people we still have in game is I like Pasta and Broda. I don't have Pasta, but I do have Broda. So we'll go ahead and get this game up. Currently Pasta leads 1-0 in their set. A Control Dominion versus Halalu. Fighting hard for the defense of that first rune, as tends to happen in these games.
We must protect the Night Mother.
Oof. Hits a Dismantle. Goes ahead and fires off the Reverb onto Garnag. 7 damage is enough to break the rune exactly. So if he's got any of the Eastmarch Crusaders, this will be the turn he's able to fire them off. I imagine Dismantle is teched to deal with Gate. Hits a Firestorm. Clears the Garnag.
You can trust me.
The Trader's starting to come down. Bolt just in time.
I will spill your blood.
Deserves another.
And then uses a Cruel Fire Bloom to wipe the defender. Pasta up 2 cards.
I'm ready for anything.
Down another 1/3 guard and just starts going wide. Goes wide within the lane though. Broda's still not picking up the cards he needs. A finish off.
Training is over. It's time to act. You can't.
Alright, aggro has returned.
Take them with me.
Mindful of the idea of a Prophecy Firestorm, instead we see a Fingers of the Mountain come down, being able to hit this for 1, hit that for 2, and hit the Trainer for 3. Doing a very good job of controlling the board down.
You can't beat me.
Alright, picks up a Blackhand Messenger. So that comes down, hits the makeshift... Well, you could hit this, and that allows you to finish off. Broda agrees.
Speak, citizen.
Then you hold Cruel Fire Bloom just to see if your opponent puts down a better target.
Chimera, spirit of the sky, guide us.
That's a dismantle target. You break this, because you don't want him to Cruel Fire Bloom it. Not sure why you hit it with makeshift defenses like that. But it also meant that if he went to drain face, you were going to get 3 cards. Or sorry, you were going to get a card.
The glory of lost Almerius.
Picks up another Crushing Blow. I think you go ahead and just, well... You don't want to give your opponent a card. And I don't think the 2 drain is worth it. You save the Cruel Fire Bloom for a bigger target. Wrong yet again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Pasta is now only up 1 card. Iron getting in 1 card's worth of value back.
I'll
them into shape. Have business with House Halalu.
Another 5th Legion trainer. That's our second, correct? Yes.
You can't beat me.
So you crushing blow Suran? Keep your guy alive? I think you do. Broda seems to be in agreement on that. Says you only have 2 cards, and if you get at too much value, I'll just dodge Wrath the lane.
You can't defeat me.
Move in shadows to hide the trainer.
If you want to talk business, you come to the right place.
Ooh, another crushing blow to deal with the puppeteer. Notably, that's going to turn off Oathman value if Oathman is the draw.
I'll see you dead.
Pasta is still reliably just chipping away at face, but chooses to hold a card. Our favorite Giggles going down into the field lane. Pasta building up an arsenal of cards, and yet another Giggles showing up. I don't see a reason to play that down. You risk overcommitting to a lane if you put it into the field lane. Meanwhile, you already have enough to trade with anything in that lane. Broda disagrees, plays her down.
Tawaka watches over me.
Have business with House Halalu.
Plots out, but has an increased cost for actions. Broda, rather than trying to pivot aggro, chooses instead to say, hey, I need to build up some cards. I need our opponent to commit to the shadow lane after they kill off Golden Saint, and I need to get some Dawn's Wrath value to win this.
My business is none of theirs.
They've got 12 Magicka, let's let them flood the board. Put all your creatures down. Instead, Pasta plays none of them. Broda passing as well. I don't know what I think of the passing. While we're sitting here doing a think, apparently, I'm going to go ahead and just zoom us in on the kitty kitty. And maybe we'll just, I can yawn right back at you. I can. You think you're getting belly rubs? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Decision finally being made to put down and contest that field lane to attack the drain. Kills off Iron. Plays out Pit Lion.
The Black Hand sees all.
Pit Lion clear, 4 health gained. We're just going to cast from here the entire time. Single pass from Pasta. Ice Storm pickup, not overly useful at the moment. You've got to wonder why Halalu's holding cards. That's not standard Halalu play. The first reason was because a Pit Lion had been top decked without a way to get into both lanes. But they can't have topped Pit Lion into Pit Lion into Pit Lion into Pit Lion. That's just not possible. It's not possible, Farkas. You're right to point that out. Goes ahead, takes the Firebolt to clear, prevent charge damage from coming through, and heal for 4. What late game is Broda going to? I'm beginning to wonder.
They will not get past me.
It's the 3/4 guard, puts down the 3rd clan captain.
Fast. Wait. Did you hear that?
Oh, no, my caster's leaving me. Lady Genebu just went into the other room, and he's like, that's more important. Ice Storm is what I'd imagine we see here because it enables the double trade. Clearing the lane of threats.
Talking mud crab.
Alright, crab coming down.
Mouth paws.
Hero of Anvil. Just a 4/4 body.
The tribunal will always come to the people's
And
aid.
keeps a arch
Behold
cannon.
Nicely
the
done.
tribunal's
Would be nice if Pasta were a Unite deck. Probably we'll just see another Storm here, followed by a hero into the field. That ended up being a really nice combo for card draw, because you got the card off of Merchant. Really, that entire play was just Mudcrab Merchant. You give your opponent the execute. Shadowmare and Bolt are all you really need to close this game out. So you go ahead and you bump face here. Put your opponent to 10, which is 2 off of lethal. I imagine Broda is revisiting the deck list right now and checking for prophecies, seeing if there's something really onerous that would screw up his run. He decides there is not and continues face.
Hold the line.
East of Arch has finally shown up. For Magicka is not able to block it, so you send Anvil, you send Shadowmare, you send Bolt, then you send in Shadowmare, and it is game. Broda taking round 2, which according to the scores they have uploaded makes them 1-1, assuming the stats are updated correctly. I'm going to take a quick refresh. Liz and Donostrin are still going. Aquaman and Fellerin are still going. And yes, they've updated the score for Pasta Broda to be 1-1. I thought I had Fellerin as a friend. Alright, well we will watch Donostrin versus Liz Maru for what is game 3 with them. Alright, Liz is now on her Telvanni, and Donostrin is still on, or is now on Daggerfall. Relatively strong opening here. Against a pretty weak hand from Liz. This is going to combine that with a Mummify on the Haunting Spirit, maybe? Alright, puts down the Will-O-Wisp.
Hey, do you not fear me, mortal? You should.
There is a much better target, and has picked up a negation. Thank you, Mark. Hope you were enjoying this Tesla Master Series, unofficial Tesla Master Series, Qualifier 3. If the play ends up being Mentor's Ring, that's going to bring Donostrin's negation into play. The Mummify pulls 3 power off the board, and removes the last gasp for 5. I've got a score dispute. By TMO. Sorry, I gotta sort this out. So just starts aggroing him down. Alright, got the score fixed. Alright, use the negation and the noodle to clear.
Hey,
Let nothing through. Close ranks.
So Morkel pushes for 9. Threatening lethal for next turn. Histamage Barrowstalker appears to be the best guard play you've got. Doesn't necessarily stop, though, because you bump, you bump. I mean, it's only 2 damage coming face, though. And some wounds gives you a chance to find Deny Storm. Do you end up negating your way past a guard for extra damage, or do you save negation for drain? It'll depend what our extra top deck is.
I smell the stench of the
We
living.
must count on our wits.
Oh, well, if he's gonna negate that, or if he's gonna put that up. Then we negate past and find lethal. And that's game. I see what Liz was trying to do. Pull Ice Storm next turn and use that to keep the board clear. Ended up not being sufficient because of the stashed silence and the bolt. End of what was a good series for them. Now we'll see if we can hop back and finish up the series of the two guys we were watching at the beginning here. So that would be Pasta. Oh, we needed to find it off of Broda, didn't we? They're not in game. Ah, Broda went 2-1 in a very quick finisher for that series. Meow. I heard that. Kitty just meowed at me. So that's going to leave Aquaman and Fellerin. I'm going to send Fellerin a friend request, because I thought we had him, because I thought we had observed his earlier games. We did, because we saw he had Tazcad.
Hey.
I'm not sure what happened there, or why he unfriended us, or if it was maybe a bug. Okay, so we've got a 26/26 Flesh Atronach. That's a thing that the Necromancer can pull back. Drops the Tazcad, passes, and it's game. So what's that leave the score then? Because we've seen them finish up 2 games. That should be the 3rd one in their set. If Liz Maru and Denostrin are done, which they appear to be, we might be bringing round 1 to a conclusion. We are waiting to see if Aquaman and Fellerin are able to report a score. Looks like they're going into a game 3. So that is 2-2 for them, or 1-1 for them then. Alright, so it's Telvanni versus Redoran. Farkas, you lay on the floor. What's my caster doing on the floor? And where you're laying on the floor is suspiciously where my mouse ended up last night. Were you the culprit who absconded with my mouse? He's laying down there like a flop cat. Aquaman with the quick early pass, not going to go ahead and ring out. He's going to take a defensive stance against Fellerin's list.
Nobody breaks the law on my watch.
Seems relatively acceptable. Just throw Fighter's Guild into that.
The Night Mother will guide us.
Looks to maybe be setting up Blackhand Messenger? No, he's playing both. He's just getting the extra 1 cycle as early as possible. Fellerin counters Crusader's Assault. Loses a little bit of tempo, but that's okay, because you're not dealing against an aggro deck here. This is Conscription Atronach Telvanni.
Stop right there! Stop!
Barrowstalker and a Mammoth. Not bad. Aquaman gonna start cycling with Scouts Report, or maybe just play the Cat Spa down. Picks up Enchanted Plate. The Fellerin needs to be able to pivot and start going face. I mean, he's got some larger creatures. Maybe he runs Rage. But if he goes for the long game, he loses. Telvanni will have more control than he will. Telvanni will have more creatures than he will. It will only be a matter of time till he'll be ground down. When he makes the pivot, it'll be up to him. You don't want to just push as hard as you can and then lose because you gave Telvanni all the cards. But we'll see. While they're doing a think, I'm going to go acquire us a Farkas.
Look at these. Look at these.
As is. I never fixed the thing. It still says as is. Farkas, I have Snick Snacks. They are on your tree.
Look at these. Look at these.
Can I herd you in the direction? Are you a herdable kitty?
Look at these.
You seem to be. I'll move these to the back of his tree. Alright, goes with a 5 health guard. Hoping that that's enough, but we know it is not. Because he's got the Black Hand Messenger, which is enough to get the extra damage. Oh, but he pivots to the Shadow Lane. So never mind. What are you down here for? Get up here. Up a level. Your treats are up here.
I lurk in the shadows. Wait.
He doesn't want to get lifted. Marcus. There you go. He really didn't want to get up there.
Go no further.
Oh, we don't see the pretty artwork that shows it's the Master Series? Oh. Well, I can get that fixed. Alright, so the pivot over here is overall good. Death Scythe will be able to clear the Rift Thane. And greetings, Ardarls. Appreciate you spreading the word, even though it is coming in 10 minutes late.
The Night Mother will guide us.
So it looks like he might try to save Death Scythe. So we're in Felleran's shoes. We're debating whether a jab of that 1-2 is worth it. It's all we would do this turn. Don't even know why the cats are in their near human orbit. It's like 2 hours before they get fed.
I smell the stench of the living.
Urist Kitty debating.
I smell the stench.
Alright, goes for the
of
triple
living.
2-drop play. Not bad. Alright, has a Cruel Fire Bloom. Also has a Mentor's Ring. And Urist Kitty moving up to the top. Our new co-host has arrived. We like to keep a rotating system here. Decides to use the Mentor's Ring to just force the drain out. Get his trades. Grabs the sacrifice there to cycle. And is he going to Death Scythe that away? Yes. Yeah, there's really no way around just placing extra creatures in that lane to deal with it. Aquaman's going to start on draw and finds all 3 of his Thieves Guild recruits back to back to back.
I bark and burn. This is interesting. What have we here?
Finds a negation. That's not terrible. And cycled his deck for 3 cards. We're down to 58. Another Troll Vivek has shown up. Which, I mean, still isn't bad for 8 cost 8/8. Sorry, 8 cost 10/10. Javelin, Belly G.
Godhood is like
Yep, we're just gonna see Felleran throw down some big boys.
the darkness as I have written.
As he's gonna try to close out the game. What Aquaman desperately wants to find is a lethal. So I'd imagine we're gonna see draw first. You keep the negation. Because that's worth 3 points of damage. Damage reduction. And it does 5 damage to the target creature. Instead, rolls again. Hits a Cruel Fire Bloom. That's also not bad.
This should help.
Looks like he's going to try to set up for another Mentor's Ring pull, or is he going to Cruel Fire Bloom now? He Cruel Fire Blooms now and just wipes it.
We of the rich adapt and survive.
Alright, so takes the roll on Doomfang. Top card is red. Ice Storm Blackhand is exactly what's needed to clear. Also sets up for a good Mentor's Ring play on a later turn. I'd imagine that is the simple play that Aquaman goes with this round. He's doing admirably weathering the big boys that Purple's able to throw at him. If Felleran can keep top decking beefy creatures like this, he may be able to get around Aquaman's removal, as it's just a matter of time until he just runs out of cards, strictly speaking. If he's looking to do something with an Odinaran, I think you save Odinaran for next turn when you can combo it with anything you want with Mentor's Ring.
The Night Mother will guide us.
Again, he's got the big boys. 7-4, 7-4, 7-4. You can only play one of them. A little depressing. You don't really want to unsummon either of those. What do you think, Ernst? What would you do if you were in Aquaman's shoes? Oh, you wouldn't? You wouldn't be in Aquaman's shoes because it's got water and you don't like water? I mean, you like playing with water, but not in water? Or around water? But suppose you liked water, kitty kitty. What would you do in Aquaman's shoes, assuming water wasn't an issue? You would chase the fish. Cat, we're talking about a card game. We're not talking about your fish. This cat is insufferable at times.
Rise, my son.
Pulls back, draw for 2, and then puts down the double guard. Pulls a Fire Bloom. I say may delay on that since he currently has an option, or has an answer to the Ogrim. Belly G combos with Edict. So you Belly G one of these, you Edict down the other, you send 7 damage face, or you Edict down the Necro and you trade. What would I do here? You're gonna pull Drain off of Conscription, so maybe you Fire Bloom this, try to hit. I mean, it doesn't matter which one you hit. Yes, it does, because you need to trade Necro in first before you conscript. Alright, sets up for a conscription next turn. Should pull a Harpy, so that should deal with any shenanigans. Has pulled all of his Thieves Guild recruits, so there's none of those going to be coming out. Everything else should still be there in abundance. I imagine we see a Kinsman Sower setup. Probably in the same lane.
You should.
Alright, hit the conscription.
Murder of the living.
Shackle down that 5-5. Nobody needs to see it. Do anything with its life. Or do you get rid of the rally? I'd probably shackle the 5-5. I would be wrong. Aquaman takes the correct line, which is apparently shackling the rally. Already had all of his Mentor's rings, so the Crucible Blacksmith ended up being a dead draw. Didn't pick up a Wardcrafter off of the lineup. So he doesn't have an easy way of multiplying Barrowstalker Drain, but I guess he's got a Will.
You will perish in pain.
Alright, the Mummify is good to hit Sower with. And that's going to take up 80 your Magicka. So you've got 4 remaining. 5 if you ring.
I lurk in the shadows.
I like to draw first. But maybe fire off the Mummify, trade here, see what you draw. Unless you're thinking of... No, you can't be thinking of hitting it on Fighters Guild Recruit for guard lethal. I guess you could. But you're already going to have a lethal guard survive in that lane.
Must I do everything myself?
Fires off the Drain Guard. And then opts to go phase, which is very reasonable given the health totals at the moment. Picks up another conscription and thins out his lane just in case there were a rage. That's our third belly G, right? Yeah. Bounces this. Puts him just off of lethal here. All he needs is a Blackhand Messenger or a way to pull a Blackhand Messenger. There's a solid chance that Conscription pulls charge, but I think I like the Camel play better. Going with Sancpat? Pivots to Death Scythe. I guess he's looking that I could clear out
I smell the
1,
stench of
2,
the
3, 4. Death Scythe that down.
I smell the stench of the living.
So that sack wasn't needed as it put him to 5. He only needed 4, but no, it did make a difference because that sack took him off lethal. Though Rift Thing comes down with guard anyhow.
I slay the unworthy.
They will not get past me.
Alright, hits a prophecy. Protector of the Innocent.
We'll see how they like someone who fights back.
Hopes to roll charge. Oh, wait. He's not shuffled any more Kshitsin. Never mind. And that's going to be game. One more damage needs to connect. Blood Dragon Protector can't clear them all. Linfeller and just giving it over to Aquaman.
Well,
Good games. Good games, each of them.